I can't guarantee that this strategy will work for you. However, I can say from my own experience, I have seen this work over and over again, and I have yet to be disappointed by it. In this video, I'm going to share with you my favorite strategy for converting your family and friends to the Catholic faith. I've seen this strategy work for many of my friends, and I guarantee you that it will work better than arguing. But before we get into that, let me just share a quick story from my own life. One of my good friends, we'll call them John, grew up in a place where their only experience of Catholicism was going to church and seeing a bunch of old ladies praying on rosary beads. There's nothing wrong with that, absolutely nothing. However, from a young person's perspective, it's not that attractive. Then John moved out to Arizona for college, and this is when things started to change. There was a Catholic Oktoberfest party one of the first nights that John moved out to Arizona. And so he saw young people enjoying a beer and smoking a cigarette and just being normal human beings. At this party, there was a log throwing competition. There was a game where you had to hammer a nail into a log. There was a game that involved carrying your wife or girlfriend on your back in a relay race. There was all kinds of fun stuff. And I'll explain how this all ties together in just a second, I promise. But John was pleasantly surprised to see how much fun these young Catholics were having. And this was the start of his conversion. After he saw that the faith wasn't just for old ladies in church, he started to become more interested in it and eventually wanted to become a part of it. He began to hang out with young Catholics. He began to go to church with young Catholics. And eventually he decided that he wanted to go to confession for the first time in a long time. And so he converted to the Catholic Church. So what's the point of this story? If you're watching this video, it's probable that you have non-practicing family members and you've probably talked to them and tried to convert them and it's just not worked. Now they think of you as the preachy, religious, judgy family member, and they think that you're just judging them every time you try to have a conversation with them. I get it. I've been that family member. I have made that mistake, so I totally understand where you're coming from, and I know that you have the best of intentions. So if you can't preach to them, how do you help them? This is what you do. 1, stop nagging them and start just enjoying their company as much as you can. 2, and this should be obvious, pray for them and pray for their conversion fervently. 3, and this is the hard part, but if you can pull it off, it's incredibly successful. Plug them into a good Catholic community. If you're about the same age as them, just invite them to come with you next time you do something with your Catholic friends. Go play pickleball, go on a hike, go to the gym, go get some Chipotle, go do something, just do anything as long as it's not churchy. Make it just fun. Whatever you do, don't invite them to go to confession with you at this point. You want them to see how much joy is in your life, and you want them to be invited in and not told you better do this or you're going to hell. And if you're hanging out with good Catholic people anyway, the conversations are naturally going to tend to be good and to end up being about God ultimately. If you're not in the same age bracket as the family member that you're trying to convert, you have to be extra sneaky. See if you can find someone you know who's compatible with them and about the same age range, and see if you can somehow find a way for them to organically meet and hopefully become friends. Don't let the person you're trying to convert know that you're trying to orchestrate a friendship, because nobody wants that. But you can subtly try to work behind the scenes to plug in your family member to a good Catholic community. Howard Gardner is a Harvard psychologist, and in his book Changing Minds, he says that by the age of 10, children are more impacted by their peers than their parents. Or, to put it another way, you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. There's a sort of character osmosis where you and the people that you hang out with ultimately start to behave in the same way. So you can take advantage of this. If you can figure out a way to invite somebody who's on the fence about the faith or friendly to the faith but just hasn't jumped in yet, if you can find one of those people and invite them into your friend group, invite them to hang out with you and your Catholic friends while you're doing something fun, then you're going to completely change that person's life, and they're going to want to become Catholic and want to share in your joy and in your peace. So if you're still watching this, I have one more bonus tip for you guys that has proven to be incredibly effective in my own life. In order to convert somebody, you have to play offense and defense. Offense is where you obtain for them the grace that they need to convert. Defense is where you get all the obstacles, either natural or preternatural, out of the way. And there's one prayer that accomplishes both of these in one foul swoop. And that is that you pray to Jesus to wash them in his most precious blood. Doesn't have to be complicated. You can say something as simple as, Jesus Christ, Son of God, please wash John in your blood and give him the graces he needs to be saved. And if you're still watching this, know that I pray every day for all of my viewers to be washed in the blood of Jesus and covered in the mantle of Mary. So consider yourself prayed for. Remember that your fallen away family and friends are people to be loved and not problems to be solved, and you're on the right track. Community converts. Nagging never does. If you enjoyed this video and want to know the most powerful strategy I know for converting loved ones, check out this video. And if you want to join me and a group of men in overcoming our vices by praying the rosary every single day, then check out the link in the description.